Our region is rich in cultural diversity. The men and women of the countries of the SICA region, Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Panama, and the Dominican Republic, have been able to create a symbolic, poetic, playful, and spiritual universe that is a source of development, resilience, and hope. However, their producers, managers, and promoters are not valued by society and work in precarious and risky conditions. Thus, there is a set of needs and demands to be met in order to improve the conditions of artists and cultural professionals in the SICA region. We must move forward in strengthening the institutional framework for the protection of artists. In the SICA region, only half of the countries have an official definition of who is considered an artist, and less than 40% have a specific law to address their needs. Furthermore, although 60% have registers of artists, 75% do not use this information to generate data and new knowledge about their reality and needs. This results in little progress in measures to improve their situation. Thus, only one country in the region has a specific measure that seeks to guarantee social security in artistic work, and no country has developed specific measures to defend the minimum wage for artists' work. Although 100% of the countries have an intellectual property law and public support mechanisms for artists, there has been little progress in long-term measures to address fundamental problems such as infrastructure development, audience development, programs, tax incentives, and loans. Furthermore, in relation to the promotion of dialogue and artistic exchange at the international level, only 50% have some type of measure to promote the mobility of their artists abroad, and only 25% have measures to facilitate the reception of foreign artists. This neglect is even worse if we look at the most vulnerable artists. Only 50% of the countries have specific measures and policies to support women artists, artists from the LGBTIQ+ community, young people, indigenous peoples, Afro-descendants, rural areas, artists with disabilities, refugees, or migrants. Similarly, the post-pandemic world presents new challenges. In relation to the economic crisis, although more than 70% of the countries in the SICA region provided support to artists during the confinement, measures are still needed to address the long-term impacts. In relation to the rise of the digital world, for example, only 25% have measures in place to take advantage of new technologies, and no country has developed measures or regulatory actions regarding artificial intelligence and artistic work. In relation to social and political fractures post-COVID-19, although 60% of countries in the SICA region have measures for the exercise of artistic freedom and 100% guarantee the right to collective association and union organization, there are no measures to protect artists in danger or exile. Likewise, a minority of countries have independent bodies to receive complaints related to the violation of artistic freedom. In order to make progress in addressing these problems, it is essential to create spaces for dialogue and listening to artists and cultural professionals. In this regard, although more than 80% of countries have participation mechanisms, in many cases these are not permanent, are only declarative, or have limitations to participation such as convening, centralism, or inadequate methodologies. These difficulties for participation are aggravated by the existing distrust towards institutions. We have many challenges to address in the SICA region. To advance in new and better regulatory frameworks, guarantee the social protection of artists, ensure fair remuneration and access to funding, face the challenges of new technologies and artificial intelligence, promote international exchange through preferential treatment measures, and continue to respond to the aftermath of the pandemic. All of this with a focus on addressing inequalities, closing gender gaps, and respecting artistic freedom.
the articulation among the 8 countries of the SICA region can contribute to address these needs in a more strategic way, and thus not only continue to celebrate the diversity and richness of cultural and artistic manifestations of our territories, but also to advance in the valuation and recognition of the work of their producers.